comes calling, and negativity lies. Cold, cold heart, heart done by you. Something's left better, baby, just passing through. And it's no sacrifice, just a simple word. It's two hearts living in two separate worlds.
Greetings from Jacksonville, Arkansas. Today is October 24th, 2025. The time is approximately 2:22 p.m. You all, I am fixing the raccoons, and now I have a dog that's been coming to my yard. Not sure what it's up to, but it seem to really be eating the food. I believe it may belong to somebody around the corner. It's not a vicious dog like a Rottweiler or anything. But anyways, in addition to raccoons and possums and squirrels and birds and Lord knows what else that comes up to me for food, I decided to deep fry the biscuit dog bones by creating a milk mixture where I have already dipped the bones that are frying now in this batter, actually in this milk, and then I created a batter of seasonings, and I put it in this Walmart bag right here. It has a combination of flour, grits, and some of the corn flour, Mexican corn flour, Massica, Amarillo corn flour. And it may have a little bit of cornmeal, I'm not sure, but I know it's got those items in there. This is the actual bag itself of the batter that I used. I first dipped the biscuit bone, in this case milk bone. This is a 10-pound box, and it contains 100 biscuits right there. I don't have any dogs or animals here, and it says that this is for the large breed right there. And you also, I dipped these biscuit bones here. Let me take a snippet. And this is what's left of them. I have been tossing out like at least 8 at a time. Right here are the biscuit dog bones. So that's what's left of the 100 of dog bones right here. So let's go ahead and take them out of the cooking grease. Got a snippet of that. See, it says milk bone with a heart in the middle. Y'all, I'm not going to drain these. I'm going to put them, you know how normally we would drain our stuff on, like on a paper towel? This is for the animals. The more grease, the merrier. So instead of them just having a regular old biscuit bone that smells like dog food, I decided to fix them a treat. So I have fried dog biscuits. These are better dipped. And I did put seasoning on the flour. Y'all, look at how good that looks. And again, this is not for my consumption. This is for the animals. Y'all, one of the cats may have had a litter of kittens. I noticed some little kittens on the side of the fence. So, not sure if it's the same cat that's been stalking me that had a litter of kittens. But anyways, you all, I did see a cat with a litter of kittens a few days ago. It's been about 5 days ago, almost a week. Y'all, we're in the midst of the government shutdown. And y'all, look at how good that's look. But it's not for human consumption. This is what I'm eating, you guys. I actually love this fish from Brazil. It is called Croaker from Brazil, y'all. It is the best frozen fish ever. If you haven't tried Croaker frozen fish from Walmart that is shipped here from Brazil, you are missing out. I have seasoned this with Creole seasoning. And speaking of seasonings, this is what I seasoned the dog bones with. I used a little bit of garlic salt and some soul food seasoning, and probably a little bit of regular salt. I can turn that around. Yeah, a little bit of regular salt. So you guys, I know that there are a lot of people that just give the dogs the food just as is, but I, like Emma Ragazzi say, I believe in kicking things up a notch, you guys. So just to recap, I have better dipped the dog biscuits in the milk mixture and created a floured seasoned batter. I did put in this soul food seasoning right here. That's pretty good stuff. Okay. So you all, this looked a little blurry. I don't think that my camera was rolling. As you can see, the dog biscuits are hot. They have been deep fried. They have been dipped. I'm just going to recap because I had to wipe my camera lens down. So I dipped the biscuits, just to recap with the lens wiped down now. I dipped the biscuits in this milk mixture that has some of the seasonings that came off in there. And again, I did use some soul food seasoning. I also put in some grits. That's inside of this bag here with a mixture of flour and cornmeal or grits and Mexican corn flour. I know I showed this to you all before, but I'm just recapping because the lens was kind of blurry, the camera lens. And of course you did see that I also used a little bit of garlic salt and regular salt. And as I stated before, you guys, I am having the Croaker fish. Y'all, there was a mail carrier that returned important documents back to the Department of Human Services for my medical benefits to help with the prescription cost and stuff. It's a recertification paper that I do annually. And I do plan on going back to work, the Lord's will, as a business owner. And when I do, I will be closing my case with the Department of Human Services. But you're allowed to get assistance with that type of stuff as long as you don't go over a certain amount per income. But when I go back to work, you know, despite the government shutdown and things, and I've seen federal workers at a food bank begging for food, and I'll try to include that in this video clip real quick. But you all, look at this Croaker fish. If you have not, it's called Croaker. Let me show you the bag. This is the bag that it comes in. As you can see, I only have one more piece left out of the 2-pound bag, which is equivalent to 32 ounce. It says pan ready Croaker. It has been headed, gutted, and tailed. Usually with frozen fish like tilapia and sway that's shipped from China, sometimes that stuff be okay. I hate the sway fish because it's kind of rubbery. It's not real fish. Sway is spelled S-W-A-I, and the tilapia sometimes be okay, but it usually is bad. So this is shipped from Brazil, and I did a separate video on this, and I will include it in the description box by the time this video is uploaded. And as you can see, the name is Croaker, spelled C-R-O-A-K-E-R, and it is distributed by Walmart and Company in Bentonville, Arkansas, but it is a product of Brazil, and it is wild caught. This is the nutritional information. It serves 8 people. The nutrients is there. Contains a lot of protein. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you all what the fish look like. I know that the one that you see over there by the sink that has been thawing out, it is covered with seasoning, but this is what it looked like straight from the bag. So I removed this last piece of frozen fish, Croaker, pan-ready Croaker, from the bag so you can see, you guys. I promise you, if you haven't tried this, as long as the fish is fresh and have not been exposed to hot weather, you all, this stuff is a winner. I had just about given up on frozen fish altogether, but y'all, I love this croaker fish from Brazil. Thanks, Brazil. And by the way, there was a movie that I watched from Brazil. It was filmed in Brazilian language, and I believe it's called Tuesday Morning or September Morning on Prime Video. It was really good, about a transgender man that had a child with a white lady, didn't know he had a son, and he had to discover himself all over again, including parenthood. He didn't know that. But anyways, that's a story for another day. But I really love this fish from Brazil. I had never had croaker before. They're selling it at our local Walmart stores here in the state of Arkansas. I'm truly grateful to have a delicious fish. And this fried fish pairs well with Great Value seasoned curly fries. These are better than the leading brand of curly fries. I absolutely love them.
Day 24, no end in sight, and the impact of the shutdown certainly increases every day. So are lawmakers on Capitol Hill doing anything to try to strike a deal or maybe lessen the pain of this continued shutdown?
Quite the opposite. In fact, the Senate went home yesterday afternoon after failing to keep the government open, or reopen the government, rather. They don't.
Y'all, I just heard a loud boom.
So a lot of questions about the.
A sudden and drastic change for SNAP recipients today, as the USDA is requiring all states to pause benefits until further notice. Officials with Vermont's Department for Children and Families say they just received federal guidance to stop 3 Squares Vermont. This is due to a lack of federal funding caused by the government shutdown. So here is what this could mean for you. If you have received your October 1st benefit, it can still be used. But if you've been approved for benefits after this coming Monday, that's the 27th, you will not receive anything until the government reopens. The same goes for the entire month of November. We spoke with Senator Peter Welch about this pause today.
This week, SNAP benefits are going to be frozen. They go.
Let's get to our political reporter, Sharm Massachuetts. She's live at the State House right now, where Governor Healy says, Sharm, the money for SNAP is almost out.
Yeah, as early as late next week, actually, Ed. And tonight, the governor is blaming Republicans and President Trump and saying President Trump ought to reverse course. More than 1 million people in Massachusetts at risk of losing a SNAP benefits or food stamps are set to run out of funding next week.
Donald Trump is the first president in U.S. history to cut off SNAP benefits to people in America.
She says the federal government provides $240 million a month in
backfill all these federal cuts. Nor should we backfill all these federal cuts.
Massachusetts has an $8 billion rainy day fund, but there are concerns about dipping into it to cover federal cuts.
They're coming in health care, they're coming in food assistance, they're coming in housing assistance. We could drain that rainy day fund in a week.
The number one priority is reopening the government so that we don't have to contend at the state level with things that we are ill-equipped to handle.
You all know that the state of Alaska recently had a typhoon that displaced the people in and around the Bethel area of Alaska, and as of today, the Coast Guard and National Guard have rescued well over 1,600 Eskimos and native people of Alaska to Anchorage. And also, there are Alaskans who are also being affected by the government shutdown. Here is a clip, and I'm going to get ready to end this video. But here's a clip from an Alaskan that at risk at getting her food benefits from the federal government discontinued if they don't stop the shutdown. Here goes.
Oh, it's really important because without it, I wouldn't be able to feed my kids 3 meals a day.
That's Soldotna mom, Tage Rake. She's one of more than 66,000 Alaskans the state says could lose SNAP food assistance benefits by November. And that's due to the government shutdown now in its 21st day. State Division of Public Assistance leaders say that they've explored other options to fill the gap, but say that the options have flaws. They do anticipate the federal government will ultimately give them direction. And potential loss of SNAP benefits comes as Halong evacuees staying in different communities across Alaska. Put that impact in perspective of...
Y'all, also federal workers have been working on furlough where they work and don't get paid. The only ones that are getting paid are the Congress people, the senators that are at the legislative level. But everyone else, including Washington, D.C., police officers, they are not being paid. So here's a clip of a federal worker who drove over an hour to a food bank that ran out of food.
I would have never, or in a million years, that I would have been in this position to have to go to a food bank.
Denise Blake says she drove over an hour to this food bank for federal workers.
I was going to go down and monitor the line, so I think we're going to serve 310 clients, federal workers today. The demand is incredibly high. There's a lot of folks in line.
When Blake reached the line, she found out the food had run out.
I was going to get back in my car and just drive home and fight back tears because I don't want my daughter to see me crying.
Blake is one of more than 1 million federal workers going without pay during the government shutdown.
Your food?
She didn't go home empty-handed.
All right, let's see what else they have for you here.
So what else? The nonprofit hosting the event, along with Capital Area Food Bank, took her to a separate food distribution center.
I don't even know what to pick up.
Huh?
I don't even know what to pick
What can I do
up.
for you? Let me get you some. How many people are in your house?
It's myself, my daughter, and I have a sister there.
You have a daughter and a sister? All right, we have a cart ready for you out front.
I'm thankful. I am really thankful.
It's worth doing this work. Some days it's pretty hard.
Collaboration, upright, something about you learning new skills.
Okay, you guys, I know I covered several things on this video. I thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I just decided to, since we're in the middle of the, I believe it's the 3rd week of the federal shutdown, cover that as well as me double dipping the dog biscuits to create a special treat where it's deep fried. You guys take a look at the batter on this. And of course I'm going to have my croaker fish right there that I'll be dipping in some separate batter. Mine's is here in the Ziploc bag. This is my special batter right here. It's seasoned very well. Yes, this is my fish batter that will be placed on the fish. I'll be shaking it around in this bag here. Also for the drinks, I have various drinks here. I have Tahitian fruit punch soda, I have Fanta strawberry soda, and pineapple soda. Let's just take a look here. Right there, strawberry, Fanta. And of course the Tahitian fruit punch soda. You all, as I was saying before, speaking of people, benefits being at risk of being discontinued, as you've seen in the news clip, and I'm just taking some snippets here. A mail carrier returned important papers that needed to be recertified each year for my medical that helps with my prescriptions and doctor visit. Now when I go back to work as a business owner, I'll be closing that case because you can't go over a certain amount income wise, and the entity returned it back to the government office, to the DHS office, which I am going to, I know it's Friday, but it's still October. So the Lord's will, I definitely will be recertifying online. I tried to recertify by phone last week, and they took all of my personal information, and then when it was time for them to recertify their client by phone, they said the software, the database system that they use to recertify people doesn't work, you know. Also, it's just crazy. I've been receiving text message as well, and then when I call the number, it's like a mocked auto system that pretends it's forwarding me over to the medical department and for medical coverage, and then it says the call can't be completed after it has already, you know, I don't know what the heck is going on, you guys, but I will be recertifying by online, doing it online, since the mail carrier, we have different mail carriers in Jacksonville, Arkansas. Some appear to be Asian, some are black, some are white. You never know who's doing anything, you know, with your mail. I just want to catch you guys up to speed. Today is Tuesday, June 30th, 2026, and the time is approximately 3:55 a.m. in the morning. You guys, the reason why my mail was returned back is because the new property manager out here in Jacksonville, Arkansas, we don't have more than 10 different property managers since I lived here. The new property manager changed my mailing address that's on my TSA Real ID, which is the Max Howell, to my physical service address, which is supposed to be used for deliveries and for utility companies to hook up gas and other utilities like internet. So for security reasons, tenants are supposed to have two addresses. One is a mailing address, which is a box number by the front office, and the other is our utility address that is found on our utility bill. So this property manager put my mail, made it look like that the addresses did not belong to me. And I had to tell the Department of Human Services that both of those mailing addresses belong to me. For security reasons, tenants are supposed to have two addresses. This puts me and other tenants out here at risk of being exposed. No one is supposed to know exactly which unit we live in. That's all part of the security process. You all know that an entity made direct contact with me, and I swear before the highest authority that that foreigner from Asia, Bangladesh, shapeshift into an animal, and it ran so fast in a circle it left behind parts of his shadow. You all, I found a circle. I saw a circle on the floor in my bedroom near the bathroom one night. And so this thing is possibly coming up through a portal, you all, and it has been like changing my date of birth, my spelling of my name, and everything, you all. This is a shape-shifting entity. It likes to probe through files. So you guys, I just wanted to cover this and cover other things that are going on within in our country here. So with that note, you guys, I'm out. I thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to pick up some croaker fish, you guys, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next.
Well, that's practice making me